All right, part two here. So as we were leaving off there, guys, we were just talking about the importance of this sort of technology for immigration lawyers. Before we just had some technical issues for anyone who's joining again. So we're just going to pick right up here again because we actually got led off here really perfectly as we were teeing up Otun to talk about what is MotaWord and how does it sort of connect with the needs that we've seen from immigration lawyers and what you're providing with your translation services.
Yeah. So Greg actually summarized it perfectly, thanks to his huge experience in both legal and exposure to translation in every step of legal processes. And it's 2026, right? So that traditional methods Greg explained uh, should not really be used anymore in your day-to-day operations. Like you should not be sending emails with documents to be translated and getting, I don't know, waiting to hear about their price for translation and then approve them and then next day follow up on them with email again. All that manual weird process that was already gone when we founded MotaWord 13, 12 years ago. So we already automated that intake process, monitoring of professional translation projects, automatically managing them and delivering them to the client, which makes the whole process very fast with MotaWord and much cheaper than anything else out there. Uh, so if anyone in the listeners are still using that traditional method of translation, they should get rid of that ASAP because it's costing them a lot of money and it's costing them a lot of time. Uh, but since last year, with platforms like Visalaw, they can not only centralize their AI interactions for their legal processes, but they can also now bring translations and evaluations into that experience and manage everything in one single platform under Visalaw. So it's that kind of an age and day now where I think lawyers should be centralizing into platform like Visalaw and manage every step there from drafting their contracts or I don't know legal cases and then translating them and every step along the way. Uh, and that's why we started MotaWord, yes, 10, 12 years ago, when AI was not this powerful and we were still using AI. But nowadays, it's gotten so much better that I'm so happy that we're tackling the biggest problems of translation, right? The first pass Greg talked about, yes, it's perfect, it's done. We don't need to waste time with word by word translation from scratch. We can get the first pass and then put professional translators on it to proofread and edit the translations and deliver it to the client wherever they are. It's an age of integration as well, like how we do with Visalaw. The tools and the services I think the lawyers are using should use today must be integrated services, like how MotaWord behaves with Visalaw. We're integrated into Visalaw so that the lawyers don't need to get out of Visalaw for their translation management or stuff like that. Uh, and translation should really, in my vision, be a very, very small concern for a lawyer, right? It's not even their job. It's just one step that their customers are not doing, right? Their customers should be giving the translations, maybe. So it's a very minor concern for lawyers in their real practice. And that's how we want to be for our customers, as well as for Visalaw integration experience. Very seamless, just one stop place. You don't even need to deal with it. Just click the button, see the price, continue, and get your document a couple hours later. That's it. That should be the experience we should be focusing on today to provide to our lawyer customers. Yeah, I talk a lot.
Absolutely. I think that's a perfect way to frame it. And Josh, if you have anything that you wanted to say about that, welcome that as well. But I think that, there's obviously just the cost benefit analysis that you get with cheaper scalable solutions like with MotaWord. There's also just the added benefit of sort of that context switching where, you might be dealing with the task of, working with a translation company, and there's all of that administrative burden that goes into that. Whereas with MotaWord and sort of a Visalaw connection, it's much more seamless. It's really just like a couple clicks and you're good to go. Yeah, and so as we move into this part here, I'm interested. Do you want to show anything on the MotaWord side within the dashboard, or should we go straight to the Visalaw side?
Uh, Maybe let's show the Visalaw a little bit and see how they can order translations and start their MotaWord purchases, etc. And then I'll take over, and for power users who want to get out of Visalaw website a little bit and deal with their translations more, I'll show the MotaWord dashboard. Because hopefully they don't need to get out of the Visalaw dashboard. Everything is handled with the integration.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Well,
yeah, I'm happy to dive in, Ian. First of all, thanks for getting us back online in such a quick manner. That was pretty impressive, I have to say. But yeah, I mean, for us, it's MotaWord represents a really great opportunity to bring what we call really sort of like this larger scope of AI tools and AI tooling that we don't sort of innately have in our platform. Everything that we do at Visalaw is based around this concept of immigration intelligence. We call ourselves an immigration intelligence platform. So it's all around this like sort of data set and the use cases that spin off of it. But when we were first building the product, we recognized that there were these use cases that were somewhat outside the scope of our first, primary, you could call functionality around, research memos or case analysis, case strategy, and now drafting. Translation was one that came up often. I know Greg, again, in his sort of semi-passionate speech, I guess, at the beginning about the importance of translations was something that he reiterated over and over again. And we really liked MotaWord simply because MotaWord is the only provider that will create this kind of like synchronization where everything can happen inside of Visalaw, right? So if I share my screen, I'll kind of walk you through a little bit of this now. And let's see how this goes. Here we go. Can you see my screen okay?
Sure can.
Showing up now? Awesome. So we actually in Visalaw have a tab called Translate, and there are essentially two main features that we provide. One is AI translation, which is really a precursor to certified translation. The use case that we highlighted at the beginning, which has seemed to take on a massive amount of traction, is this just sort of like more I guess you could say base level AI translation tool. Because a lot of times what firms are actually trying to figure out is what documents they actually need to have certified, not necessarily, oh, I want to send over this packet of 100-page document to have a certification service review. More common government documents, birth certificates, things like that are usually just one-off or 1 to 3 pages at most. But a lot of times there are other types of documents that need to be translated. And so, I think a lot of times what you're just trying to figure out is like, what's relevant to my case? So the AI translation actually provides that value. And so if you were to just, I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but basically there's this little box at the top that allows you to upload a file. So you just click to upload. You can also drag and drop. And you could simply upload a file from your machine, or if you already have a file stored in a library, we have sort of a built-in foldering system, like a document storage system, where you can just quickly access anything that you've already provided to the system to the product. So if I went in and said, okay, I want to translate this. This is actually a case, or a opinion, but I'm going to just do an AI translation here. The AI translation is a little bit more limited. In other words, it's not like using our sort of like AI chat where you can ask it to translate into any number of languages that would be available in the language model. This is much more fine-tuned because it maintains or attempts the best way possible, like maintaining the formatting of the original file. So this actually takes the document or graphic or PDF that you provide and then sort of replaces the text with whatever your target language is. So if I said English to Spanish, for example, I could do that here with this sort of AI translation and hit translate. Alternatively, if I wanted to do certified translation, I could go in and also perform a similar function of just selecting, original language and destination language. But I just want to show you like basically how simple this is to do. So I just click done. And so what will happen is it will start processing that document in the system, and it will take it probably just a few moments. I'll go ahead and refresh because I think something may have gotten hung up in here. I think this document was actually already translated, so I'm going to actually click a different one really quickly from my library. I'm going to translate a shipbuilder job description. In case you're doing an EB1 for specialty shipbuilders. It was just kind of a fun use case we had worked through recently. So anyway, so you can see it sort of translating, and it will take it a few moments. And then, of course, once it's finished, you can view the document. And, as an example, I'll pull up this one. So it'll just show, this was actually an actual USCIS form. It actually translated, which would not be a relevant use case, but you can see it was from English to Spanish, and it will keep the formatting, all of these good things. And again, this is all unlimited, essentially use for our customers. We've seen a ton of usage of AI translation over the last year. In fact, I did some numbers right before the call, and in 2025, in total, our users had we utilized a total of 330 million characters in AI translation in last year. So it's definitely getting used. Maybe there are people who are leveraging this tool for their entire practice, their entire firm or something, or some enterprise customers that are really leveraging it. We're not like trying to get into the weeds of that, but we're just glad to offer that capability. And again, it's secure, it's a secure, think of it almost sort of like a more secure version of, say, like a Google Translate functionality, right? Like where you can just simply provide the documents you need, it translates them in platform for you. And then, of course, we get into the exciting work, which is the certification. So if you do end up needing this document certified, then you can simply click Get Certification Quote, and it will you'll select what language you want it to be certified in. And then I will select Spanish again.
Of course, in reality, you're probably translating into English and asking for certification for USCIS or something like that.
That's right. So, since this document was we actually had the AI translate it into Spanish. So I'll just do, it really is. I'll just keep it as this because it'll work the same. But if you were to see an example quote, right, you'll ask the system to generate a quote. And so once it generates the quote, you'll click View Quote, and it'll provide a cost. Again, this is all coming directly from MotaWord. So we'll send it to their system. It'll get sent back, and it usually takes a matter of hopefully just a moment or two. But as you can see, the status has changed from to preparing quote. So once we get that full quote back, you'll get the opportunity to basically view the quote. And once that quote is confirmed, you'll just either, again, if you have a payment method on file, you can kind of bypass. It won't say necessarily you won't have to enter all your card information again. It'll just be able to process directly using your account information. And then 24, I believe, and that's the typical time frame, is around 24 hours, and you'll get notified once the translation is completed. And then, of course, if there are any other issues you have or questions throughout the process, you can obviously reach out to our support team. And that's essentially that. It's really a relatively straightforward process. And I was trying to see if I had any recently that I had completed a certification for. But you'll be sent the full packet via email, the email that's associated with your Visalaw account, and it will also populate here as it'll basically say certification complete, and you'll be able to download that file or view it, whichever, either or. And so that's essentially how translation works in Visalaw today. And I'd love to stop there. I know I kind of walked through a lot. I don't know if there were any questions or follow up that I needed to do on any of that.
Well, I think I think one question that would be good to know is, once the user hits the get certification quote and they get that number, I think what a lot of people might be wondering is what are the costs for certified translation? What is sort of the pricing structure?
Mm-hmm. The pricing is very dynamic, and MotaWord code system is very automated since the beginning, and it always tries to give you as much discount as possible. Depending on your document, we may find that low pricing by number of words or by giving you a per page price. For instance, your per page price in most languages will not exceed $24. Even though it has maybe huge content of $100 value, we'll still keep the price at $24.50 or something like that. So we always try to beat the market price and give you the lowest cost here. Just because we're automating so many steps in our backend processes, in our back offices, we're able to give this cost decrease back to our customers. Actually, let me share my screen now and continue from where Josh left. Sharing my screen now. Okay. I think you can see my screen now. Okay, so this was the document Josh uploaded actually and asked for certified translations. This is what that payment page looked like if you were not using Visalaw AI. So if you were not using Visalaw AI, instead of automatically bringing your document to MotaWord and getting your price and submitting and getting the translations automatically back, you would come to our website, you would upload a document here. I have this birth certificate, Chilean birth certificate as an example. You would upload it here. Now our system analyzes the document, looks at your account history, tries to find similar content that it can reuse so it can give you discounts. Let's pick certified translation. All of this is automatically done by the Visalaw integration. So normally Visalaw users should not really use these screens. But if they have a very custom need, very weird case or something, they can always come to our website and talk to us by using this chat button. Hi, everyone. I need help. This is actually manned with real humans 24/7, and I'm very proud of our response speed, 30 seconds. Let's see if they're gonna catch up with my expectation. But here you can enter more details, like maybe you're translating from, I don't know, Hebrew or Arabic into English, and transliteration of your name is going to be very difficult. Like maybe, I don't know, Mahmoud or Mahmoud. Who knows how you're using your name in Latin characters. So all of those notes can be entered here, and then you'll continue once you order your translation, you'll continue your dashboard. Again, normally you should not really need MotaWord dashboard in the integration, but MotaWord dashboard gives you a lot of language operations. You can always monitor your projects. Apparently this was a sample project I sent. I can see my documents in all languages, so I can kind of use MotaWord as a multilingual document repository. Let's go to, I don't know, IT Turkish sample. These are some sample projects, I guess. It's a data file, it's a technical documentation file. I can monitor my projects here, including evaluation projects, single source evaluation, etc. I can continue my code that I didn't finalize yet. And if you're even more power user, you can always manage your glossary terminologies here, so that, for instance, grape law firm, so that we always translate grape law firm in a very specific way, because you don't want to translate grape into, I don't know, üzüm in Turkish. Or you can upload style guides for both AI translation as well as our human proofreading and post-editing phases. For USCIS, use this kind of, follow this kind of rules, etc. And the more you use MotaWord, whether with the integration or not, you keep getting a translation memory. Translation memory is a huge database of translations for your account. And I really have huge translations in the system in more than 3,000 documents. And whenever system sees the duplicate content or similar content, it tries to squeeze some discount for you from your translation memory. And of course, you can always access your usage reports, cost reports, language pair reports, users, etc., and bring more users to the same account. This is the gist of the rest of the MotaWord experience. If you want to, open a new tab on your browser apart from Visalaw and see what's going on with MotaWord, this is also accessible to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really good look into sort of the back end and what what's sort of going on behind the scenes for people who are coming through the Visalaw integration. There's really a lot going on the MotaWord side. It's a very deep tool that can be accessed, really, really readily, and obviously has a ton of capabilities for immigration
All
professionals.
kinds of language operations, basically. We're of course focusing on legal and certified translation, but MotaWord is a whole language operations platform. We can do all kinds of translations, rewriting, proofreading, post-editing, AI translations of website content, offline materials, brochures, apps, software, whatever you can throw at us, we can translate and localize that. And yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I wanted to add that I think we'd like to add that to our, and we do plan to add this to our roadmap, which is the ability for you to link up your own MotaWord dashboard into your Visalaw account. Today, we use just sort of more of a Visalaw AI kind of global provisioned account. So, users that are using this sort of one-off certified translation functionality, sort of like pre-built, you don't have the ability to navigate into MotaWord and see all these other kind of custom capabilities or requests, and see your sort of like historical translation record. What we want to do is now build out a functionality so that you can link up your, sort of like your firm's work account, so that you can.
It's gonna be very easy, Josh.
Yeah, we'll do it.
MotaWord has the language industry's biggest API, so anything I can do at MotaWord, anyone can do by using our API. Basically, it's the same.
Nice. So yeah, we'll definitely make sure that gets prioritized, and we'll get that into the system. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the progress that you guys continue to make, and kind of pioneering a lot of this kind of AI technology and time savings into your software.
Yeah.
And so I do want to ask you both. We do have sort of an exciting announcement about academic evaluations. Do you guys want to discuss that a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. We can definitely keep the thread going. Obviously, we don't have a specific time frame for the launch of this. I would say likely Q2 of this year we'll complete this addition to our existing translation API, which is offering the ability for users to complete academic evaluations within Visalaw. It'll be a very similar flow, from what I understand, a very similar workflow. Obviously, you'll need some other documentation need to provide some additional documentation, and there will be some additional kind of questions that will need to be asked. But otherwise, I think a relatively straightforward kind of workflow that we'll be able to create and add directly within Visalaw for our customers. Oyden, I'll let you, obviously you're in the weeds of it, you're the one building this functionality. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it all.
Once we bring that, your customers will be able to order basic standard academic evaluations, expert opinion letters. These are very important for H1B, L1, O1 kind of cases. Expert opinion letters, grade conversions, GPA calculations. There are so many document types. Let me show you very quickly, actually. We're bringing this integration to Visalaw, but maybe until then they can come to our website to order them. We started academic evaluations, I think, last year, and this evaluations thing had the same problem translations had when we started MotaWord more than 10 years ago. Everything manual. Literally, if you want to order academic evaluations right now for your case, you would need to download a PDF file, fill it up, send an email, wait to hear from them, etc. All that manual weird process. But again, on MotaWord brand, we always have this code wizard. You can come here, upload your, normally in a academic evaluations case, you need to upload the transcripts, the diploma, or any kind of education, or if it's about education or employment related documents that can support your evaluation, academic evaluation or expert opinion letter case. You can upload any number of files here. You can upload a zip file, you can upload multiple cases, and then you're gonna select what kind of service you're asking for. The standard evaluation, the cheapest in the market, $65, delivery almost next day. But we have more advanced evaluations, such as these credit conversion stuff, expert opinion letters for many different types, L1, O1 cases, TN visa cases, etc. So the whole expert opinion and academic evaluation package is now at MotaWord. And then I'm gonna select why do I need these evaluations for USCIS or university or employment, and then I select continue, and that's it. I just uploaded a file and answered one question, and I'm getting my code for $65. It says 72 hours, but Mark, our head of evaluations, they usually deliver much faster than this. And same experience, you order and then you go to your dashboard and monitor your academic evaluations project. I have these couple evaluation orders here. I can go in and monitor how they're going. I can always ask more questions. Oh, they already answered. I was so rude, didn't reply. Sorry, guys. I am just demoing the platform. But
the whole team ready to help right there.
Yeah, that was 30 seconds though. I could see. Yeah, so the same MotaWord experience. Once we bring this to Visalaw, you'll probably select multiple documents from your personal library that Josh showed, and you'll combine those documents and, hey, you know what, evaluate these for me, please, and maybe answer a couple of questions like, what are you targeting for this evaluation? What do you think this should lead to, etc. No worries, thank you. But yeah, this was something that really excited us when we started last year, because as a tradition, we're of course using a lot of AI even in this evaluation services. That's how we're able to bring this to $65. This is more than half of the market price, less than half of the market price. So you'll get a draft preview of your report, and you can have back and forth with our team to finalize the report. And we have a very supportive evaluation team that are very fast with responses, because evaluation cases, let me come back to you guys. Where am I?
There you go.
Evaluation cases can be very complex because customer comes and the lawyer comes. They have some kind of expectation. You know, this person studied. They say they studied medicine in, I don't know, Algeria, but is it really MD, medical doctor in US? We don't know. It needs a good expertise and analysis of the case. So each case is very custom. It's normal to have back and forth with MotaWord, and it's something MotaWord excels. 30-second response time. You can always have discussions and real-time monitoring in your dashboard. So I'm very glad we started this and completed almost all of the language needs of a legal firm. They can do translations, post-editing, AI translation, proofreading, I don't know, whatever. They can send, some of our customers are sending us pay slips of 100 pages of PDF files, but they don't really need that translated. So we do what's called summary translation. 100 pages of PDF translated into 2 pages very cheaply. So I'm very happy with the addition of academic evaluations. We are now covering all of the language operations of a law firm, basically, and we'll soon bring that to the Visalaw dashboard.
Yeah, I'll speak for both Ian and myself. We're definitely excited to have it have that extended integration and continue to grow the partnership in that way. Yeah, and I would just say to anybody that's on this call or watches this who uses Visalaw or has interest in Visalaw, when you go into the platform, I'd encourage you to try and leave us feedback, because obviously we're road mapping a lot of improvements in Q1 and Q2 of this year for the platform, and there will be some subtle improvements as well in translation and summarization. So, you know, if there's something, again, especially around translation of files, and as soon as we get evaluations in there, would definitely be interested in getting your thoughts on it too, because I know a lot of firms, at least firms I have experience of working with, you know, you have like preferred vendors, right? People you've worked with for a long time, and obviously don't want to change any of those strong relationships. But if, you know, if you're looking for like another vendor for edge cases, or for certain situations that maybe it doesn't, maybe you can't, you don't want to, it doesn't maybe justify, you know, using other vendors for, or for whatever reason that service will not handle your needs, you know, this could be an option to evaluate. And again, it's like, I mean, it is $65, but it is, you know, it could be worth a first pass just to see how it kind of handles your eval. So again, we'll have some like feedback loops. We'll probably have some kind of, in the chat, we obviously have like a thumbs up, thumbs down, but maybe some kind of feedback form that users can also kind of interact with and give us any substantial, you know, insights that our users have will be huge. So that was the only, I took a long time to say basically that, but feedback is important.
Very important. Very
That's true.
important.
And, you know, I think overall, I think, you know, the reason that our tools are sort of married in the way that they are, and that we continue to expand our relationship, is because, you know, our goal at Visalaw AI is to, you know, just make improve the quality of life for immigration lawyers. It's never been harder to be an immigration lawyer. And these tools that we're integrating into the product and the way that we've built our product, it's all been centered around this idea of how can we make life easier? How can we improve your quality of life? And what's going to, you know, make things most efficient, scalable in this day and age where immigration law is extremely complex and extremely fast changing. And so that's how we like to how we like to roll. So as we sort of reach the end here, I want to give a chance, Josh and Oytun, if you guys have any additional comments or things you want to put out there about the products, or anything that people should be looking out for as we send this out. We will have a recording that we will send out. We'll sort of splice the two-parter segment that we did today together and send that out to everybody, so everybody will get a copy of this as well. But in addition, you know, can continue to get a free trial with Visalaw if you're interested. If this is your sort of first introduction to the product, you could schedule a demo with our product team, with our sales team, I should say, and they can help you identify the best ways to, you know, bring the product into your workflow, whether that's translation services, whether that's drafting, whether that's legal research. There's definitely a way that you can use Visalaw, and it's just a matter of figuring out how it plugs in. So go to visalaw.ai and find the time to book a demo. But any last words from you, Josh, or from you, Atin?
Yeah, Ian. Honestly, they have to use Visalaw AI, or they have to use MotaWord, because imagine a new university grad who used ChatGPT all their life during the college, and they're coming to work for a law firm. Do you think they're going to draft an agreement from scratch, or do you think they're going to dig into all those old cases and try to find that reference? No. So they have to use Visalaw if they even want to employ young people. So the age is changing a lot. I think this year is the best year for everyone to take a look at their workflows, all of their tool sets, and, you know, start using more integrated, more modern tools like Visalaw and MotaWord. Even if they, like Josh mentioned, even if they have old vendors, yes, of course, keep using those old vendors. But if they're not catching up with AI, if they're not integrated enough, if they're not, you know, future-proof, you know, I think you should migrate to services like Visalaw or MotaWord. I'm not only saying MotaWord and Visalaw, but you have to do something new in 2026. The things are changing a lot. So I think that's the last thing I want to say. Take a look at your workflows and work with modern systems, modern companies.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Josh, anything from you?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I mean, if you go high level, if you're a Visalaw user and you haven't tried AI translation, try AI translation. If you're a Visalaw user and you haven't tried certified translation, try certified translation. High level, you know, one of our banners for this year is from experimentation to adoption. And, you know, I would say partly vendors have not done a great job of helping law firms and lawyers properly implement the software. So I wouldn't, you know, I think, you know, more can be done from the software company's perspective. And I think we've been doing a lot, especially recently, in some things that I think, Ian, you were kind of trying to get me to hint at some things that are coming. And I'll just say that, you know, we obviously have, I would say Visalaw has the most aggressive product roadmap we've ever had over the next 3 to 4 months of our company. Yeah, and just, I mean, again, we're not like we're not 10 years old. We're only 2 years old, but it is definitely a very aggressive product goals for this year. But all that to say, you know, on the one hand, I think vendors are finally getting, you know, implementation figured out. You know, if you know, for firms that are really trying to adopt this stuff, truly adopt it firm wide. The other one is, I think 2026, even if you don't fully implement some AI solution, determine what measures of success, like what the measure of success is at your firm for like an AI implementation, right? So, you know, it's hard to grade a test if you don't know what the, you know, you don't have the rubric, right? Like you can evaluate 10 different AI tools, but if you don't know what's going to be successful for your firm, then it is a really hard journey to take, unless you as practitioners or as law firms can identify what it actually is that's going to, and I'm not saying it's not just like one solution, one tool. I mean, every software application that we use today is going to have some measure of AI, you know, AI technology in it. But if you can properly evaluate ROI, if you can, you know, again, be the grader, be the teacher, give the grades and like evaluate these tools, like you can quickly sift through what's going to be meaningful for you, based on your firm's needs. So, you know, it's got to be somewhere sort of like a happy in the middle. So that would be my two points is like, yeah, I mean, definitely we're moving quickly. The industry is moving very, very quickly from, again, it's just sort of like evaluation, experimentation phase to full firm adoption and implementation. And then, you know, for those firms that are still, you know, it's not some scare tactic, but I think it's just like internally, one goal for 2026 can be like success metrics or success measures for, you know, evaluating AI tools generally. And that would be my call to action to any, again, whether you use Visalaw and MotaWord or use something else, right? I think that has to be your goal. And of course, like, you know, our team is happy to help, you know, if, again, even if it means you don't end up using our platform, you know, we're happy to help firms evaluate what that means, to like, what does a successful implementation of AI actually look like? Yeah, we'd be happy to help, you know, help any law firm or practitioner go through that process. So yeah, Ian, I'll resign my time with that. I really appreciate your, you know, you bringing us back in here, and appreciate you putting this together, and the kind of splicing or whatever you're going to have to do in the editing process to get this out to the world.
We will.
I want to thank you for your time too. Again, I know you know, you're helping run a company, and taking the time today to talk about this integration means a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Wonderful, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank
everybody
you so much. And we'll leave it off there. Have a great day.
Sierra, thank you.
You're welcome.